he's a resident alien. He can be deported under U.S. law for if the Secretary of State has any reasonable ground to believe he would have a potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequence. And you mentioned the student organization. The student organization put out. Let me finish.
But before you move on, because I think that's a really important point, right? That's the statute that they're using.
Yeah.
Have you seen any evidence to suggest that there is actually a serious reason to believe that this student is going to be a threat to national security?
I mean, I've certainly watched the abomination that's gone on at Columbia and Barnard and other places, and I will just tell you,
to national security.
And I'll just tell you that
I'm not going to let you move on because this is the
I'll tell you why it's a threat to national security if you let me answer you.
Well, Scott,
do you want me to answer you or not?
Okay.
His organization says we are dedicated fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization.
Okay.
He's not a citizen. He doesn't need to be here.
I don't think you just described him having viewpoints that you disagree with. Again, is that enough to have someone lose their rights in this country?
He has viewpoints that, in my opinion, jeopardize the security of the United States.
But how?
He is obviously a radical who is here to foment.
No, he's not a radical at all.
Violence against the United States government.
He wants to destroy Western civilization.
Against the United States government.
You're saying eradicate Western civilization doesn't make you a radical?
Has he acted in any way that is violence against the United States government, as you just said?
I think these protests and the violence they have fomented and the intimidation and fear against the Jewish kids on these campuses is absolutely an act of insurrection against the United States.
Be leaders ourselves.
Black women are being used by the Democrat Party.
All of these socioeconomic indicators are in the negative, particularly for black people.
They want mob rule. When Trump was in office, please somebody tell me what act of dictatorship did he perform?
She had Donald Trump's hair on top of her head. And she's sitting here talking about brown girl this, brown girl that.
Because she's a black woman.
They would ask her how to spell her first name and clap like sea monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
All right, folks. Hello. What's up? It's Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. All right. Of course, we have Nicole Bennett and Shelly E. All right. So before we dive in, do me a favor. Make sure you guys tap that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Folks, real talk, this doesn't get boosted by big tech. So if you're with us, take a second, hit that like button, share this, and subscribe to help us beat this algorithm, not the algorithm, but beat big tech. All right. We are, of course, on YouTube here and Rumble. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out our super chats. It's the best way to show your love for conservative content and get your voice heard in the conversation. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, American-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us, subscribe, so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, folks, ladies, let's set it off. All right, we already have some super chatters here. Thank you all so much. Tijuana Border Jumpers.
Hi.
It's a $10 super chat. Says hi and intelligent women. Thank you.
Hot.
Oh, hot. Yeah, hot, intelligent women. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Chadwick.
You know what,
that's
Chadwick.
A lot of leg, Nicole.
You know what reason? Okay, look. Cover up my nice lady.
Right. All right. So let's get into this. So we were just watching that clip with you guys of CNN with Scott Jennings and Abby Phillips. And the first thing, before we really dig into what is going on here, shouldn't they be required to say this is an opinion show? You know, a lot of people watch Abby Phillips and many of the programs on CNN, and they think it's just they think she is just a news journalist trying to get to the truth when she's clearly biased. She's clearly on the left. Absolutely. There should be some type of tag these shows are required to put saying, hey, I'm a leftist, I'm on the left, or I'm on the right. Or, you know, this is a biased program. This is not news. It's opinion. You know, we come on here, you guys all know we are MAGA, we're America First, we are Republicans. Okay, that's fine, you know, and we do still want to get to the truth, but at least you know where we're coming from. CNN, they try to play like they are, you know, straight news source, and they're not. They're not.
They should have those little labels like the movies do.
Yeah.
Oh, disclaimers.
Disclaimer.
So you know what you're working with, but that's a part of their grift is to look like news, to look like the old CNN when they had James Earl Jones saying this is CNN, you know, when it was news way back when.
Right.
In some classrooms, actually, kids learned about news from watching them.
Right.
I think one of the, to your point, yes, but I think one of the problems is that most people on the left don't think and or know that they're on the left. They believe they represent the middle. So therefore, to them, they're not taking a side. They really think they believe in, I mean, they are representing middle America or that middle of the road. That's what they really think. They don't see themselves as progressive or left of center, or, you know, way off the daggone polemic. They don't see that. So that would be the problem. That would be the challenge.
To me, it's just like you can tell that they have, you know, they'll generally have, at least on CNN, they will have people on the left and people on the right. Okay, I like that. But she, as the moderator, is clearly biased. And so I think they need to, like you said, a disclaimer or something to say something about that. Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat here. Did I get that? Okay. Says, hello, ladies. Democrats are scared to death. Yes, they are.
Yes,
they are running scared. All right. So speaking of that, we got to get into this news out today. I thought they would have a hearing. Well, I know the hearing is underway, but I thought they would have an outcome with this Mahmoud Khalil case, but they don't have it yet. So let's really get into this. So of course you guys saw that was Scott Jennings on CNN, basically talking about this case with Mahmoud Khalil. So who is this guy? Just in case you all don't know what's going on. This is a guy who, his name is Mahmoud Khalil. He was arrested and is scheduled for deportation. So the Trump administration arrested him. He's a Syrian-born green card holder. Now that's important. Who claims Palestinian ancestry. Khalil was a prominent figure in recent pro-Hamas protests at Columbia University, including acting as a supposed mediator during an illegal building occupation at Barnard College that led to 9 arrests. The protest was sparked by Barnard's expulsion of 2 mass students who disrupted a history of modern Israel class by distributing anti-Semitic flyers. So basically the Trump administration, they put out that they were rounding up people who were involved in these protests. And if they were here on a green card or on a visa, they were being sent back to their home countries. And he was one of the ones that was rounded up. So there has been plenty of discussion surrounding this deportation and arrest on the right. Very split over this. So want to get right into it, whether or not he, as a green card holder, should be deported. Before we weigh in on this, I want to talk about what the other side is saying. So actually, Candace Owens, first, before I tell you what Candace Owens, this is Marco Rubio addressing the deportation, clip 7.
When you come to the United States as a visitor, which is what a visa is, which is how this individual entered this country, as on a visitor's visa, okay, you are here as a visitor. We can deny you that visa. We can deny you that if you tell us when you apply, hi, I'm trying to get into the United States on a student visa. I am a big supporter of Hamas, a murderous, barbaric group that kidnaps children, that rapes teenage girls, that takes hostages, that allows them to die in captivity, that returns more bodies than live hostages. If you tell us that you are in favor of a group like this, and if you tell us when you apply for your visa, and by the way, I intend to come to your country as a student and rile up all kinds of anti-Jewish student, anti-Semitic activities, I intend to shut down your universities. If you told us all these things when you applied for a visa, we would deny your visa. I hope we would. If you actually end up doing that, once you're in this country on such a visa, we will revoke it. And if you end up having a green card, not citizenship, but a green card as a result of that visa while you're here in those activities, we're going to kick you out. It's as simple as that. This is not about free speech. This is about people that don't have a right to be in the United States to begin with. No one has a right to a student visa. No one has a right to a green card, by the way. So when you apply for a student visa or any visa to enter the United States, we have a right to deny you for virtually any reason. But I think being a supporter of Hamas and coming into our universities and turning them upside down and being complicit in what are clearly crimes of vandalization, complicit in shutting down learning institutions. There are kids at these schools that can't go to class. You pay all this money to these high-priced schools that are supposed to be of great esteem, and you can't even go to class. You're afraid to go to class because these lunatics are running around with covers on their face, screaming terrifying things. If you told us that's what you intended to do when you came to America, we would have never let you in. And if you do it once you get in, we're going to revoke it and kick you out.
All right. So there are people on the right who say, hey, he's a green card holder, and this is a free speech issue. One of them is Candace Owens. So she came out and basically was against what President Trump is doing. She said the Republican Party position is supposed to be tough on crime, not tough on speech. We don't like. We protect speech, all of it. Speech we don't like, speech we don't agree with. Speech we don't like is not violence. Here in photo 1, she says, I did not object to Trump's announcement that student visas would be revoked for those who had engaged in illegal acts on campus. The operative word was illegal. Many students were arrested for breaking laws during protests and should face consequences. Mahmoud Khalil was a permanent U.S. resident with no arrest record and an American wife that is 8 months pregnant. This requires further explanation. That was Candace Owens. So I want to bring it to you all. Shelly, should he be deported?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me tell you why. Yes, you might say, well, Shelly, you believe in freedom of speech. I absolutely do. But I always say, or most of the time I will say, you don't have the right to incite or threaten other people. And you certainly don't have free speech in Syria. I think that's where he's from. Because according to the Cato Freedom Index in 2024, Syria, the Syrian Arab Republic, was 165. The last country on the Freedom Index. So try that in Syria. These people come here, at the graciousness of the American people, of our laws, and believe that they have the right to help tear down our country. Hell no. We have enough people, Americans, that are doing that. Why would we want other people on a visa or a green card? I don't care if the card was purple. Give him a brown card and a black card and send him back to Syria with his pregnant wife before she drops her load on American soil.
Oh yeah, we have a super chatter here. Tijuana border jumper with a $5 super chat says deport, deport, deport.
Absolutely.
All right, we have PB Hardy with the $5 super chat says send him to Syria. Go Marco Rubio. All right. So what are your thoughts on this, Nicole? Do you agree?
Well, yes, he should be deported. And I agree with Candace. Free speech is protected. Absolutely. And it was not that he was saying things that we don't like. It was that he was inciting violence against American citizens, other kids who are going to school. Americans actually have rights here in America, believe it or not. You would never know that by the way the left acts and the things that they allowed to happen during the Biden administration. It is absolutely ridiculous that American students who worked hard to get into Columbia, whose parents paid an arm, a leg, and probably a kidney or two to get paid to go to Columbia, and they were barred from going to class from professional protesters who likely collected a check from some dark money group to be out there protesting.
Not only was kids, it was some professors also that were barred from their own classroom.
When you're on a college campus, the last thing you think about is being assaulted or, any acts of violence. But to have these very violent riots on his word, like he was the ringleader, admittedly, the ringleader of this. You're not a citizen, sir. That green card does not give you citizenship. You're
an alien.
You're a welcome visitor, for sure. We'll let you work. You can have your pregnant American wife. You can have all of that. But the very first time you act up or you make us believe that you lied to us in the process of getting your visa, You got to go.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Candace. I don't know what's going on with her.
Know what's going on?
I think it's the pregnant thing that got her.
Oh, please, no, she was like that before she was pregnant.
Well, let's talk.
Since October the 7th last year.
Oh, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. So, firstly, let's talk about the difference between a visa and a green card. So, unlike a mere student visa holder, a green card holder, such as Khalil, is an LPR. That is the highest category of alien. He's still a non-American who was lawfully relocated to the United States and is on track to become a naturalized citizen. So in many contexts, tax law and privacy, he gets all of the benefits of a U.S. citizen, but he is not a U.S. citizen. The rights of LPRs are similar to American citizens, but they're not identical. Again, they're still aliens. And federal immigration law has long provided that aliens can be deported over criminal conduct, terrorist support, and national security concerns, something that cannot be done, of course, to U.S. citizens. And this is where it applies.
There's a long jump between a green card holder and a naturalized citizen. There's a lot that has to happen in that process. The thing that I like the most that happened is Marco Rubio stepped up in a big kind of way.
I like him in this role.
Yeah,
I'm liking him more and more.
I was surprised how much I like him in this role.
Yeah.
But he stepped to the mic and was like, wait a minute, let me spin around in a circle and let y'all know I am the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
And if I say he got to go, pack your bags, honey.
He's calm,
go.
but he exerts.
He has that diplomatic feel
Yeah.
to himself. Yeah, he does.
I think he's doing a terrific job thus far.
And
Look,
thank God for him.
Yeah.
Because it's because of him that this guy's being deported, because it's particularly Section 1227 of the immigration law says that the current Secretary of State is in control of whether or not he can be deported. So for the most part, deportation on security related grounds, subsection 4AC of the statute is triggered by criminal activity. But however, it indicates that activities do not necessarily have to be crimes in order to warrant deportation if they are terrorist activities. And these are deemed by the United States Secretary of State.
Yeah,
it has control over what it is.
Listen, if Marco say you got to go, there's not much a green card holder can do when the Secretary of State, the person who issues that permission, says you got to go.
And as far as Columbia and many of these, what we call them, elite universities, a lot of people get taxpayer funds. Those are some of our funds also subsidizing these universities who have mega bucks, right? These endowments. And sometimes students that come here on visas, they also get subsidized by us. So why should we as Americans pay money for people like, Khalil, to incite violence on the campuses that we help to pay for and on the soil of our country that we love? And why? I don't know why we have to do that. Take his naturalized but
alien ass.
Right. I'm trying to be nice.
He's a green card holder.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be calmer, or I don't know, for Lent. But okay.
No,
anyway,
you can. These jihadists hate this country.
Yes.
They hate our Constitution. But then when something like this comes up, they try to manipulate and use our freedom-loving Constitution for their benefit.
Exactly.
This is what they try to do. This guy, for all we know, could be a plant. Again, he was Syrian born, but he came here by way of the UK. So there's something fishy about this. And then he literally just recently got his green card status. Now, some are saying it may be because he married an American, because that is another way you can get it faster from visa to green card. Correct.
Well, so it takes a little bit of time. The sweetheart visas, as we call it, a sweetheart visa, you still have to go through the process of becoming a green.
But they do they can move your paper up a little bit faster. But wait a minute, KJ, to your point about him being a plant, even if he is or is not, he doesn't seem to think that he has any restrictions on himself. Right. He feels free, if you will. He feels the audacity to actually come out and incite violence against Jews, other Americans on campus. So he has no compunction about being gracious and having the gratitude to be on our soil, because he could not, I'm sure, do that in Syria.
No, but that's what I was saying about him being a plant.
Right.
You know, he's an agitator.
Yes.
And we know, we've talked about this many times on this show, there are plants, these agitators that are planted within our country, particularly in colleges and universities that are doing this just to create violence, to stir up all types of issues within the colleges, within our country. They join these groups like BLM, like Antifa, and they are there just to stir up trouble. He was actually funded by an NGO, a leftist NGO. We know that these have been in the news lately with Elon Musk, Doge, and President Trump cracking down on these places. So, and this is exactly why it's needed.
But here's a question. Like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago, there was a little Asian girl. I think she was from China. I'm just good guessing that she was from China. She was deported for the same reason. They pulled her out of school, deported her. You didn't hear anything.
But was she green card?
She was on a student visa, but I don't think it's the immigration status that's important. I think that there is enough anti-Semitism on the left that said, oh no, you can throw the little Chinese girl back, but you can't throw our boy back. You cannot do that. I think this is really playing into
identity politics,
who they are as a group of people. Well, it's shameful. Really is shameful.
You know, if the government can prove that Khalil was in a campus group that endorsed or espoused Hamas atrocities against Israel, it should be able to deport him regardless of his status. And folks, you know, Hamas, it's not even, I mean, yes, it's terrible to be anti-Semitic, of course. But this group also says death to America.
Yeah.
You know, we don't hear that a lot. You know, we hear about them being anti-Semitic, which is awful, but they're also anti-American.
Right.
You know, this group is a terrorist, not just to Israel, but to the world. So it definitely needs to be, he needs to be deported.
Absolutely.
Quickly. We have a super chatter here, folks. Thank you all so much. All right, let's see who we have here. I believe we thought we had. Okay, Chadwick with a $10 super chat. Says, yes, while the First Amendment protects freedom of speech, it's not absolute, and the government can impose reasonable restrictions on the time, place, and manner of speech.
Particularly when you're threatening someone else.
Yeah.
Or screaming fire inside of a crowded theater. There are definitely limits to the freedom of our speech and consequences for said speech.
Absolutely. Folks, if you love faith, family, and freedom, hit that like button, share this with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a truth-filled episode of Pop and Politics. So thank you guys so much for your super chats. Please keep them coming. It really helps us to go a long way in spreading conservative content.
For sure.
All right, so we're kind of staying on this train of liberty here, and we're talking about Tesla. So here in this next clip, MSNBC has been pushing back at Trump, saying violence against Tesla dealerships is considered an act of terrorism. So this is what Trump has proclaimed, and the MSNBC is saying it shouldn't be. This is clip 4.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong. I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
But then you also overnight have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now, you know I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
What an idiot. What an idiot. Before we get into this, I want to acknowledge our super chatter, the Scrapping Beauty with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. She says, when I was younger in my 50s, we used to teach bullies our own justice. Right on. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Yeah. So first of all, so on that clip, on the MSNBC thing, it said violence against Tesla dealerships would cause be terrorists. She says, President Trump is saying that if you protest an American company, it's going to be terrorism. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that at all. She knew exactly what he said. The fact that President Trump supports Elon Musk, certainly that he bought a new red Tesla. And by the way, I think they're ugly cars, but nevertheless, I'm always afraid to get in one because I don't want the electricity to run out when I get in Uber. When I get in an Uber, right? Yeah. But that's I digress. The thing is that. Remember, I don't know if you all remember, I'm going to say in the 80s, maybe the 90s, when abortion clinics were being bombed. What did they call those? Domestic terrorism, right? Yeah. Oh, and I'm not condoning that should have happened, even though I'm anti-abortion. I'm not condoning that, right? Yeah. But it was no qualms about it. It was domestic terrorism. You're putting fear and causing arson and all kinds of property damage. Then if you blow up cars at a dealership, regardless of who makes the car, regardless of the person or the owner, that should be considered domestic terrorism. If it's not, then what is?
Yeah. They called parents who went to PTA domestic terror.
Yes. May of 2022, Merrick Garland, then AG, says parents are domestic terrorists if they protest schools. And then lo and behold, a little bit later on in the year, we discovered that it wasn't like his natural idea, but there was a teachers union who was pushing that idea because they were tired of getting ate up, cooked at town halls by parents who are going, what are you doing with our children? So when we talk about domestic terrorism, the definition is very easy. Let's set the table. If you blow something up here in the United States and you're a native born person or a naturalized citizen, let's do that. We call that domestic terrorism. Right. Yeah. So if you blow up a Tesla,
connected to some type of political
cause, political, religious, anything that we hold dear, like our core tenets. It's one thing to protest. You would hear nothing out of me if they were over at Tesla going, your cars are ugly, too expensive, and we hate Elon with their little sticks. And you know how much Democrats love a paddle, singing some old Negro spirituals. That would be good, right? But when you start burning things and putting people's lives in danger, can you imagine being the girl who answers the phone at a Tesla dealership and somebody blows a car up out in front of the building? She had to be horrified.
Right.
Horrified.
And the worst part of it all is the mainstream media is not even talking about these disgusting acts of violence that they're actually perpetrating. Exactly. And again, we already said they actually deemed people who protested at the school boards. They deem them domestic terrorists. Exactly. But you literally have people blowing up cars, vandalizing cars just because of Elon Musk.
His political affiliation,
right? Yeah, affiliation, and this is it.
And they want to justify it.
And let's talk about what they did. I mean, all across the country, they have shootings, fire bombings, in Tesla Cybertrucks in New Orleans, uptown New Orleans, just recently. At one point, a man was charged the trucks and began punching the glass, which he ultimately shattered. He also threw an object at one of the passengers after he gained access to the back of the vehicle. 41-year-old man who allegedly just threw a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla location in Oregon. Another one, Andy Joe, he's on, I follow him on Twitter. He reported that Adam Lansky, the man who accused of committing these attacks in Portland, was a trans activist who uses the alias Allison Tesla. And he again is accused of attacking a Tesla dealership. Also in Colorado, they did the same thing, attacked the Tesla dealership through Molotov cocktails before being arrested. I mean, this is multiple states across the country.
This is the same thing, BLM, when they did their riots, they ripped and tore up cities from Seattle across the country. And many of them, most of them were not prosecuted. And some of the ones that were prosecuted for very low level slaps on the wrist, right? So again, this is the leftist perspective. Tear up, destroy, chaos, confusion, and then say, oh, that's not what it actually looks like, or that's not what it is. Again, I'm not condoning any clinic for whatever reason to be blown up, arts and things like that. But I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. I'm sorry.
Please do.
When I was younger, I was moving, right? This is kind of similar. I was moving. And so I had some old papers, right? You know how you collect things. Sure. So I was thinking, okay, I didn't want to take all these papers, and I didn't want to just put them in the dumpster. So I went outside near the dumpster. No one was around, no property except for the dumpster. And I made a little fire to burn them. Oh, no. I didn't know that was against the law. Right, because I had no ill intent, right? So somebody called the fire department, the fire trucks came, police came, and I was cited. I was cited for property damage for that dumpster. I went to court. I mean, and I think the landlord or the property owner, it was totally ignorance on my part.
Was that here in the city?
It was in Maryland. It wasn't here in Baltimore City, but it was total ignorance on my part. I think I wound up paying, I'm going to say maybe $100, something like that, right? But the point is that I was basically, I could have been technically labeled an arsonist or property destroyer, whatever, right?
Pyromaniac.
Right. Yeah. But and so these people are not going to be labeled as domestic terrorists. I'll be damned. You know?
I mean, even in Massachusetts, and this is, folks, all of these things have happened just in the last year or so. Massachusetts, someone set a fire to several Tesla superchargers locations, which Tesla owners use to charge their vehicles away from their home. And they say that these things are like gas stations for electric vehicles. So, I mean, the list goes on. They've been doing this within the last couple of months or up to a year, just because of Elon Musk's affiliation with President Trump. We have a super chatter here. Gimpy says, this sounds like a lot of those fiery but peaceful protests. Right. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, Gimpy.
You know, I agree. But one of the things I don't want us to miss, and click the like button if you agree with me, that this is a concerted, organized effort. This is not just random people feeling some kind of way about Tesla going out firebombing things. You know, now that USAID is gone and, you know, they've kind of been called out about their connections to these NGOs, I'm wondering how they're getting paid for these protests now. Because God knows they're getting paid.
Soros probably.
I'm guessing too. Soros
but
is behind it.
Here's our saving grace. The media is no longer what it was under the Biden administration. Lots of people like shows like this one, other alternative news media is going to call them out and be like, look at these bums setting our world on fire. It's a concerted effort. Listen, RICO's a statute. Don't be afraid to use it. Don't be afraid to use it.
Absolutely.
Let's go after these bums and the people who are paying them. This kind of terror against Americans by Americans who disagree is intolerable. We have got to get back to the place where being a good American is more important than your political stance, right? Firebombing a place, you could kill children, you know, people just walking by, anything could happen. It's dangerous. I get it. You're angry. You feel some kind of way. You know, go on X and talk stuff to Elon.
Well,
he listens to that.
I'm going to ask our audience. If you want to keep me out of jail from firebombing and starting fires, go to our page and buy some merchandise. It'll help. It'll be, cash in the bank just in case. Keep me out of jail. My get out of jail free card. Go to popandpoliticslive.com and shop until your heart is content. It's going to help keep me out of jail. I won't start fires, but I might need it for something else.
And the delay is over, folks. All the shipments have gone out. Yes. So we had a slight delay for a couple of weeks, actually.
Slight?
Yeah,
Girl,
I know.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna go there.
I know.
I'm trying to be a nice lady.
Right, but we are back on. We're right on time now, so order away, and we certainly appreciate your support.
Get the classic white. Every time we talk about it, get the classic white. It just looks it's crispy. It looks crispy.
Right. And that's our shirt. The Butch Bitch Bishop. Shelley coined that phrase, referring to the bishop at the National Cathedral that was going off on President Trump.
It's just like her too. Her hair is just like doing a whole lot.
Yes, it does.
Said the girl whose hair is doing a whole lot.
Right. And if you stand for faith, values, and truth, give this video a thumbs up, share it on your socials, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And again, it helps to pull up, conservative content like this.
KJ, you're right. Because I was watching Just the Guys last Saturday, and it may have been Logic who said that there is a concerted effort to come into our space and take it over. Like some of these, like Joy Reid and Don Lemon, have moved into our space, but they didn't come in broke and poor like us, with like a couple cameras and some homeboys. No, they came in like high dollar, top of the line equipment. You guys don't know this, but we have production meetings and we talk about how much things cost and how we're going to get from point A to point B. They don't have to do that. They came in moneyed. They came in big. So we want you to defend us.
Whoa.
Anna's going to help us.
Bars just helped us in a major way.
That's my bail money.
Yes, love you, ladies. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you.
Nobody wants Shelley to go to jail. She'd be in there getting people organized.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. That's one place I fear. I will have no problem telling you that.
Really?
I fear going. Seriously? Oh, absolutely. I fear. You know what it is about? Because my freedom. It's a freedom thing with me.
Right.
I think I would go stir crazy.
I'd send you some freedom in a box set. I put some money on your account. And I send you some freedom in a box. I'd be like, there's Shelley. Feel free.
Well, speaking of freedom and losing it, the View ladies have lost all their marbles this week. I mean, Trump has got these ladies out of their minds with all of the things that he's doing for America. And so now they're upset about so-called misgendering. Take a look at this. This is clip 8.
A congressional foreign relations subcommittee was adjourned abruptly after the chairman refused to properly address Delaware Congresswoman Sarah McBride. Take a look.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply...
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America, please?
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
That's right. Good for him. So the people of Delaware voted for Congresswoman McBride. So why is it so difficult for people to understand that she was elected by her constituents? They know Sarah McBride. So I say, if you're so concerned about protecting who you consider women, why don't you spend less time monitoring bathrooms and address the material mortality crisis in this country when it comes to when it comes to black women? Why don't you end the 15% gender gap? Make sure women have access to health care and contraception. Investigate cases of missing or murdered indigenous women. If you care that much that you got to do all that.
Because, and I'll quote the famous line of a movie, it's a man, baby, it's a man. That's why it's Mr. McBride.
Yeah, because dude looks like a lady.
No, I just thought it was hilarious. And the guy, I forget his name, the congressman in the chair. But you know what? It was hilarious. But McBride, I'll call him a McBride. He gave it right back. He just said, madam. You know what I mean? It was a hilarious moment. It was a moment of levity. And then that, sensitive congressman sitting, you won't do this, whatever. I thought it was just a hilarious event. Now, you still got more to clip?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Now, a little bit later on in that clip in The View, some of y'all gonna be upset with me, but I don't care. It's never stopped me before. When Alyssa was talking, her point was very valid, that they're wasting this time when there were genuine issues to debate. And I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But overall, this was just something funny.
The best thing about it was that, what you were saying is the hearing did not progress. Right? Who benefits from that? Who benefits from that? So we're arguing over this dude dressed like a lady from a little tiny half of a piece of a state, Delaware, right? Make your point, ma'am, sir, McBride, and have a seat so we can continue with the people's business. That's what's more important. But in the meantime, while they're arguing over if dude's a lady or not, the work's not getting done. The reason why everybody was elected, the work is not getting done because he's trying to make a point so that he can land on The View.
Right.
And this is one of the Democrats in the running. Yeah.
This is what the Democrats do. Instead of focusing on the work, the real work, getting to the real issues, the real solutions for these issues, they push out this stupid stuff.
They deflect. Right. The fact that they have no plan. They have no way to stop the Trump train. Right. No way to stop it. They've tried F-bombs. They've thrown TikTok dances and 82-year-old women talking about, skibbity and sus and whatnot. They've tried everything that they know how to do and still have no answer to the Trump train question.
Exactly. And McBride, his name, McBride, if you notice, even though he gave it back, like he called the congressman madam, but he was about to go ahead and respond make his point. The other congressman, all up in what they say with his drawers up in his butt, in his crack, whatever, with his wedgies. Panties in a butt. Thank you. With his wedgies, he's the one that got all discombobulated. Again, this is Congress, our congressmen, representatives wasting our money. These jokers get paid $150,000 a pop for working for, if you want to call it work, for about half of the year because they're on vacation, they're on holidays, all kinds of stuff. So about half of the year they getting about $150,000 a pop, not to include the perks and other things that come with it. And this is what we get.
Excellent. And McBride, he started speaking because he knows. Look, I've got a penis. I am a man. I am a man.
Exactly.
That he probably goes by man or woman, but if somebody calls him a man, he says, look, I'm a man.
What's up, Mac?
Right. But one thing I want to talk about is how, do we have a super chat? I want to acknowledge just super chats here. Okay, I did see one. Rico.
Hi, Rico.
Says, I'm a little late, but good God, my master. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Rico.
So much.
Yes. So what I want to talk about is as far as deflecting, and this is exactly what Whoopi Goldberg did. Now, how she went down all around the mulberry bush about the maternal mortality rate and women's equal pay and all of this stuff was really ridiculous.
Foolishness.
But let's talk about that. So they continue to talk about and say the left, how the maternal mortality rate is high due to systemic racism. And it's just not the case. There are underlying health conditions in our community that are major factors in these things, like behavioral conditions, what we eat, hypertension, obesity.
Most of them are behavior based.
Absolutely. What we eat and how we eat it, when we eat it. So many things that play into that. The stress level. There's a lot of things that play into that. And none of it has anything to do with systemic racism. In fact, when you take a look at all of the things that we've given, the things we've put in place, there's not one place in this state, one place in this country that doesn't have WIC for women, infant, and children.
Exactly.
Everybody has WIC.
Exactly.
You can get, here in Maryland, we call it purple and white card to get your free health care if you're pregnant. So we go out of our way as tax-paying Americans to make sure that children are born as healthy as possible, but your free will supersedes all of that. So if you want to sit on your sofa and eat a bag of Doritos like Kamala Harris, when you're pregnant and you get hypertension.
I know people pretty well who have COPD and other hypertension, and they will continue to smoke. Literally, they will continue to smoke, and they will tell you, and then they have the nerve to get upset that the medication is not working.
Right. Yeah.
What do you do with that? Yeah. You can't do anything with that. So most of those these chronic illnesses are 99% behavioral induced. Right. That's it. And not only that, one of the proofs is, particularly with diabetes, when people have type 2, not type 1, type 2 diabetes, it is largely reversible. It is largely reversible with two things: diet and exercise.
Yeah. And you said it a lot,
That's
Shelley.
a dirty word, Shelley.
Shelley says it a lot here. It's also cultural. Within our community, we don't move enough. We don't move enough. And to get together or a function is about eating. And believe me, I love to eat.
Exactly.
I love to eat.
We all do.
I love to get together with girlfriends, family, and you just, in front of food and at a table and eat. But we have to be more balanced about moving, getting out, whether it's a walk, whether it's going to the range like Shelley likes to go to. Dancing. Right. Yeah. Just an activity. We must get more, the culture needs to shift towards moving and activities based the same amount as we love to eat.
Exactly.
And that's an issue. Also, socioeconomics play a role in the maternal mortality rate.
Yep.
My research has shown that maternal outcomes often vary by hospital quality.
Yep.
And many women, regardless of race, face worse outcomes when treated in lower tier hospitals.
Yes. And with the hospitals, and let me just say something about maternity in general. Particularly in our culture, the black community, I think there's a belief there, and maybe it's for all women, but yes, when women are pregnant, you do gain some weight, right? But because you're pregnant, 50 pounds is not a good thing. It really isn't. And I'm not mocking that, right? Some women, you start out before you're pregnant, you're a little bit larger, but you really should not be gaining 50, 75 something pounds. You should not be gaining, that baby is not going to be a whole 100 pounds. It really is, it's not. So, and I'm not saying that to mock people. And granted, people do struggle with their weight. There are some people who work hard at it to just maintain, a little bit of modification or whatever. That's fine. But the mindset is largely about, like you said, it's a cultural thing. Oh, I'm just going to eat as much as I want and then don't do anything. And then I'm going to take whatever pills and medications. And then that may or may not work well, or it may work initially, but then the weight comes back, and it comes back with a vengeance, right? Yeah. So it is a mindset.
And another thing, I don't know if you guys know this, but particularly in our culture, people will say, oh, after the baby they've had the baby, oh, I still have baby weight. And the baby is 5, 8 years old. Oh, this is my baby weight. And we're going on 5 additional years after the baby. Baby is walking around, sometimes driving. And this is something that's in our community. You ask women who have had a child now is 16. Oh, I'm still trying to get this baby weight off.
So listen here, KJ, you gonna stop talking about me. Let me tell you right now.
I was saying, and these were there before I had a baby. So
and that's another thing. Women complain about that, talking about how the titty.
Mine was there before. So they the same.
The push-ups will get you high again. No. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The push-ups will get you standing at attention. With the breast.
Push-ups help your shoulders, KJ, and your back.
It's your chest.
Push-ups help your chest and your shoulders.
Somebody tell her this. Push-ups are your chest. Oh my gosh.
You know what?
Okay. Don't
How did we get so far off the topic that we out here talking about people's boobs and pushing up and KJ talking trash about me.
The
'cause my
push-ups
daughter's grown
are
and I
help
still
the
got
chest.
baby weight.
It's the chest, the back, and the triceps. I know this.
Okay, we're not arguing.
Okay.
All we're saying is,
Okay.
okay, KJ. Okay, we got you.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. All right. We got to move on, folks. Please support this movement. Hit the like button, subscribe, and check out our merch. You know we have this merch at www.popandpoliticslive.com. Every shirt helps keep conservative voices like ours loud and proud. All right.
And we have plus sizes for those of us who are still carrying our baby weight.
And help your chest. Buy the shirts,
Right.
t-shirts, Poppin' Politics Live. It'll help your chest. And we have ladies cuts. So for the ladies,
For sure, it does. The ladies cut does help.
Yeah.
It brings you in where you're smaller. Makes it look good.
Yeah,
it does.
But it won't get rid of 50 pounds of baby weight 16 years later.
Yeah, right.
Y'all just wrong.
All right, so moving along to a more serious topic, the Breakfast Club. So you guys know we've mentioned the Breakfast Club here before. It's an urban radio station that is with Charlemagne the God and things like that. They very urban, very leftist, and they always talk about Trump. And so here they've gotten some really big slack lately about talking about DJ, bullying him. Remember DJ Daniel, the 13-year-old cancer survivor that President Trump honored at his address to Congress, was it last week? Take a look. This is clip 1. All right. So, I mean, is that in poor taste?
What, with them talking about DJ?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yes.
He's a child too. He's 13.
He's a kid.
And he's a cancer survivor. They were speaking about his hair. He's lost hair. They said it was patchy because he's had surgery. Shelly, you find something funny?
I do. Let me tell you, I do. I'm sorry. Okay, I know y'all are probably going to jump on me, but while you're jumping, go ahead and spend on popandpoliticslive.com. Now, I didn't say this. I'm saying it here publicly tonight. So,
girl.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny that they were saying that. And let me tell you why. A few years ago, Dominique Dawes, or what the gymnast,
yes,
they were talking about her hair. I think it was Dominique Dawes or one of the gymnasts, I forget. They were talking about her hair being nappy. Remember when
no,
I know. I'm just talking about the hair. Remember the shock jock, I forget his name, called the basketball player the nappy-headed hose. No. I forget his name. Oh, God, I forget his name. But anyway, I just thought it was funny in that sense. Now, I did think, this was my thought. I didn't put it anyway on public spaces, but I'm saying it here tonight. So y'all can go ahead and jump on me. I just said, why don't they shave that child's head? For cancer survivors, particularly for boys, they get their head shaved a lot. I love DJ. I think DJ is an old soul. Don't get me wrong. That's all. I said that to myself. I didn't put it on social media, but again, I'm saying it to you all tonight, so you all can go ahead and pop in Politics Live and take your anger out on the merchandise and buy it. But that's all I said. Now, I don't know. They were making fun, I think, of him. And that's the way it came across to me on the Breakfast Club. But I just said to myself, again, I see cancer patients. All I just said, I wonder why they didn't shave his head. That's all I said.
Probably because he didn't want his hair shaved. Let's go there. But
a lot of kids, my boys don't.
Well, he did get a shave though. Did you see that after clip?
Now,
yeah,
but a lot of boys
people are all on
right. They don't like to walk around with a bald head. It makes them look older.
And he's been through a lot.
I'm not saying that. Oh, I agree with you. I agree. I wasn't making fun of him, but I did ask myself, why didn't they just shave the child's head?
But this is the thing I want to just, I want to point out the obvious. When you take a look at these folks on the Breakfast Club, I'm just gonna say, she don't have edges nowhere. No. Her edges start like right here.
Yeah. And right? She got them all like the
and then she's got these like doodly doos for edges.
No room to talk.
Girl, how are you talking about somebody? Yeah. How are you talking about somebody?
Yeah, I don't think I said that was not the important part. Again, right? Again, this was just Shelly's thoughts, and now you know them. But that wasn't the important part.
Yeah.
That
but the thing about it is that really got me, and maybe I'm looking at this too deeply, but it's like our community always is taking the little things.
Yeah.
You know, this boy was honored by the president of the United States, no matter what your politics are.
Right.
You know, he's been through enough. I mean, come on. The boy has been through enough. We literally played a video, was it last week or a couple days ago, showing he'd been bullied in the community. And now you have these adults that have chosen to make fun of him again on a platform that is enormous.
Right.
Enormous.
Well, the thing I like about DJ as well is that he made fun of himself after he got his haircut. I don't know if we had that. So he made fun of himself. He's like, yeah, I got a haircut now and I'm sexy or something like that. He gave his phone number out. Yeah, it was cute. It was cute. It was cute. So again, take it for what it's worth. It's not worth much. It's not worth anything. But again, I think the Breakfast Club, they were making fun of him. And that, of course, by no means was that the main point of honoring DJ.
Well, you know, she's a comedian, right? So maybe this was a part of her shtick that she was, cracking these jokes at the expense of this child. But imagine if this had been Obama era.
Exactly.
Imagine if Obama, like Michelle Obama, rolled this kid out, and if we would have said anything, if Shelley would have said, "Why didn't they cut his hair?" we would have people screaming from the rafters.
Exactly.
We can't continue to do this, folks. This is what I mean about being a good American. This is a child.
Exactly.
You know, you want to talk about people. They could do an hour on Jasmine's eyebrows, you know, and her eyelashes and her
and
outfit.
we would be the bane of the existence.
Right. Well, look, they can talk about adults and be just as funny. Can we just leave kids out of it?
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's another thing. The double standard. You know, the left doesn't find anything funny. Look what they did to poor Roseanne. I mean, thing she said about Valerie Garrett, who actually looks like she should have played on Planet of the Apes. You know, she looks like an ape. And she said she didn't know that she was black. She didn't know it. And this woman could pass for white.
Who's it?
Valerie Garrett. What's her name?
Jared.
Oh, Jared. Valerie Jarrett.
Valerie Jarrett. But Roseanne, who is also a comedian, lost her entire. She lost her show. She was blackballed from Hollywood and all kinds of stuff. And she's a comedian. And this woman, you know, was not in cancer or having cancer or anything like that. And she was totally canceled. So, you know, the left can say what they want, but the right cannot.
Exactly.
Well,
that's the standard.
That's always been the standard.
Right,
you know.
right. Yeah.
The standard.
We have a super chat here. Thank you all so much. All right. We have
Rico. Is that Rico?
Let's see here. We have Rico with I thought we had maybe we don't. That's
there he is.
Oh, here he is. Rico says the Dems say and do an evil things in my opinion. Right. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely, Rico. All right. Well, talking of comedians or speaking of comedians, Rosie O'Donnell, folks. We have another super chat here. Real Leo says too many anti-Americans in this country.
Agreed.
Agreed. Shaking my head. Right. Agreed. So again, speaking of comedians, Rosie O'Donnell, have you guys seen the viral video that's been all over the internet? She has actually left the United States. Take a look. This is clip 2.
What's up, guys? This is Giovanni, co-founder of Metro Conservative Media. We are the definitive home for the urban conservative. You think you got what it takes? Go to metroconservativemedia.com and click join the movement now.
Well, hey everybody, it's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. It's Tuesday all day, as my nana would say. And I'm here in Ireland. And it's beautiful and warm, not physically, it's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. The people are so loving and so kind, so welcoming, and I'm very grateful. I'm in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents, and that's what's going on, and that's where I've been and what I've been doing. And although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. And here we are. And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back. It's been heartbreaking to see what's happening politically and hard for me personally as well.
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road. We were all supposed to sing it together.
Oh, I snapped. I had to.
I said, let's sing Hit the Road, Jack.
I sang a line.
I was
so you guys have seen she has left. Wow. And what do you guys think about Rosie? She looks like she's had a hard time. Did she walk there? What in the world? She looks like she
looks like she's having a rough time. But I will say this: our loss is the world's gain, and I hope that she finds peace and happiness and takes all her hate and vitriol with her.
Yeah,
this is the last thing we need. Why doesn't she call Whoopi and invite Whoopi to come over?
Oh, I love
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it would be. My question is, she's all the way in Ireland. Why does she think that somebody needs to know that? And that who cares?
Right.
I mean, these celebrities, since Trump's first tenure, have been saying they were going to leave. Take more, go. Who cares that you were in Ireland? Enjoy it. I hear it's beautiful over there.
Very beautiful.
Enjoy it with your family. I hope you, like you said, the peace. Eat all the potatoes you want. It's just, who cares? Why do you think you're so important? Self-important at least, that you have to put this video over. I don't care. I would not have known she had gone if I didn't see this video, and I would not have cared.
She has to announce her departure like an airport. Girl, go on about your life.
Did you take Spirit Airlines?
No,
most of these looks like she walks. I mean, looks like she walked through the jungle and through the forest. She
through
looks
the fire.
Bad. I mean, poor thing. This lady, what hell has she been through?
Through the fire.
And she's 62 with a 12-year-old. I'm sure life is not exactly pleasant. I'm sure at this point in her life that she didn't expect to be doing some of the things that she's doing. But listen, life is much slower there.
Right.
So maybe
It'll
she'll
down.
find peace and happiness, and her child will find
love and happiness.
All right. Well, President Trump has responded. He responded to her leaving the country. Take a look. This is clip 6.
Ireland is known for very happy, fun-loving people, great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
That's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr.
Do you know you have
President,
Rosie O'Donnell?
are you expecting?
Do you know who she is?
Yeah. I'm joking.
You better off not knowing.
President Trump.
All right. Yes.
Vicky Lamb in the chat is right. She wants to be missed.
Yeah.
She just couldn't go and go on with her life. She needs everybody to know that she kept her word and she
Yeah.
I hope it starts a trend.
Yeah. Trey's Chocolate City says Trump still living in her head, rent free,
all the way in Ireland.
Yeah, all the way. Yeah, definitely. So
Rico says,
Rico says, what the F happened to Rosie? I know.
That's what we said too. It was like, wow.
Oh, she looks really bad.
I mean, she's had a hard time. Trump derangement.
I was gonna say that's what it is.
It's tough. It's tough on your soul, and you put some Ozempic on top of that, girl. Yeah, it's bad.
Most of these, that's what I'm saying though. It's just like most of these leftists, they just worry themselves about things that you don't need to worry about. You know what you need? You need some Jesus in your life. Speaking of that, guys, have you checked out our other shows here on the Metro Conservative Media Network? I have Christian Conservative coming on tomorrow night at KJCJ Christian Conservative. Then we have Just the Guys on Saturday. You can find them at Just the Guys Podcast right here on YouTube.
It's amazing. It's an amazing show.
Yes, it is. All American Talk Show that comes on Tuesdays. Yep, at 6:30. You can find them on YouTube at All American Talk. All of these right here on YouTube under the Metro Conservative Media Network. All conservative, coming from different perspectives and opinions. You gotta check us out. All right. So so I want to move on here to a much more serious topic, the budget.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the
Not
budget.
the afterbirth. 'Cause the afterbirth.
The
is
afterbirth. He
funny.
said the afterbirth.
The
What is it?
afterbirth.
Oh, did I
Somebody
miss
said, who was that?
Peter Hunter.
Peter Hunter said Rosie looks like the afterbirth. Not afterbirth, but the afterbirth.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, she does look like but she needs to be born again.
Ah,
All right.
that's too much afterbirth
She
then.
needs to start watching your Christian conservative show.
Right.
Life Right.
All right. So the House passed the continuing resolution finally by a vote of 217 to 213, with Kentucky Congressman Massey being the only Republican holdout. President Trump on Monday called for a fellow Republican to challenge Representative Thomas Massey. He's out of Kentucky in a primary election over the congressman's opposition to the continuing resolution that would keep the government from shutting down. So Massey, he's a hardline conservative, voted against the measure that would increase defense spending while decreasing most non-defense spending below 2024 levels through the end of September. So President Trump was really upset. He says here, and I quote, "Thank you to the House Freedom Caucus for just delivering a blow to the radical left Democrats and their desire to raise taxes and shut our country down." He also said, Congressman Thomas Massey, a beautiful beautiful Kentucky, is an automatic no vote on just about everything, despite the fact that he has always voted for continuing resolutions in the past. He should be primaried, and I will lead the charge against him. Nicole, what do you think about that? I mean,
listen, I told you guys at the very beginning that this is what's going to happen. People who do not toe the line will have that line wrapped around their political necks. He's not here to play. He only has 4 years, right? So the whole entire team needs to be working together. And that was my issue with the Speaker of the House not being speaker-like. But I'm warming up to him. He's getting better. He's getting much, much better. Whipping their votes, making sure that everybody toes the line is important. And when you don't toe the line, as rough and tough as it seems, this is politics. If you can't step into line with everybody else, we don't want you around. We'll replace you with someone who will support the president's agenda.
Yeah, Gimpy here with the $5 super chat says Massey is wildly popular in his district. No chance this works. Thank you so much, Gimpy.
You know who's more popular in his district? Donald John Trump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
We call it the Trump bump. That's what happens when the president of the United States drops your name in any way, shape, or form. Your phone starts to ring. You know, wonderful things start to happen out of the clear blue, especially if you're a politician. So,
Shelley, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not here to be a politician. I disagree with President Trump on this one. I do support Congressman Massey in the sense that the spending, I'm all for cutting the spending. And I'm not speaking for Congressman Massey, of course, but what he's seems to be saying is that we're going to increase the spending, and this is me paraphrasing, we're going to increase the spending here on this bill to keep the government open, but yet we have all this dodging going on, right? Which I am absolutely for. Cut it down. I want spending cut. I don't care. And I'm glad that there are, well, at least in this case, one person, but I want to see more Republicans and fiscal conservatives, libertarians, whatever. I want to see more of us say no more spending, no increase in the cost or raising taxes to get more. Cut it across the board. I disagree with President Trump on this. Massey is popular. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but in the part that that's implied is that, oh, like you said, toe the line. Well, part of me, if you will, as an American, we do get to disagree. And I voted for President Trump 3 times. I do not regret it. If I could vote again for him next year or 4 years, I will do it again. But on this issue, I am all for cutting spending. Americans, we pay enough. We pay way more than enough. We pay our share and someone else's. Cut the spending. I'm sick of Congress not passing a clean budget, a big, beautiful bill, like President Trump says. I'm sick of Congress with these midnight games. Oh, the government's going to shut down if you don't do this by Thursday. And then Thursday at midnight, everybody passes this continuing resolution. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I don't care which party does it or doesn't do it. I want a bill, a budget bill. I want our House to say enough. No. we control the purse in the House. Well, then let's control the purse.
Yeah,
All right.
continuing resolutions are just kicking the can down the
Exactly.
road. It's like putting, something on layaway. You don't pay the whole bill, you put a little piece
Exactly.
on it,
I'm sick
and
of
they
it.
never really get to the heart of the matter. Trump's problem with the rep from Kentucky is not that he didn't vote for it, but he's voted for all the other
And
CRs.
some of the other CRs also had some spending reductions in those. I get it. I know that there's some political components to this. I don't think it's a good thing for President Trump. We what, 3 months, 1 quarter? We're into this administration, and now he's starting to call out someone who doesn't agree with. This is a principle, Massey, from what I understand. And again, Massey is not anti-Trump, as far as I know. He's not. This bill, fiscally, this is where he has been.
Yeah, folks. Well, what do you think? Do you think that these? You agree with Shelley that you're for cutting spending? Hit that like button
for sure.
If you agree with Nicole that she's on the Trump
Total
train
line.
and we need to get, that's right. We got more things to get done. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so.
Wait a minute,
already.
KJ. Now, how we gonna know? Here's you win, tails I lose.
Or however you say it.
Yeah. Oh, All right, Vita with the $2 super chat
Thank you,
says,
Vita.
"Beautiful ladies, thank you for your voice. Blessings."
Oh,
thank you, Vita.
Vita.
God bless
Thank
you
you.
too. Robin with the $10
Thank
super
you,
chat.
Robin.
Thank you.
Gimby with the $5 super chat. Oh, well, Gimby's been great tonight.
He's just on one tonight.
Yeah,
Let's
we
go,
hope
Gimby.
you get a full arm next time. Again, get rid of that gimp. They tried this the first time Trump was in office. He defeated the challenge more than once, Nicole.
I know, but it doesn't stop me from wanting it to happen. It just doesn't. Like, politically, I need people to be on the page. He has such a short time in office.
Well, look,
if you have somebody that you're vehemently against and you've got good reason, sure. But this guy votes for every single continuing resolution.
We got 1 and 1. PB Hardy for me and Prayer Escape for you.
Okay, who's gonna break the
Listen.
tie? Says Doe Shelley. Prayer Escape says, "I agree with Nicole."
Thank
All
you,
right.
Prayer
We got a tie.
So who's gonna break the tie? Who's gonna break? Mr. Wombat says Massey isn't anti-Trump.
There you
It's
go.
past time
Shelley
to cut
wins.
spending.
Shelley wins.
Okay. Well, that was it. Okay. All right. So final topic of the night. I want to bring you guys this. This is sort of interesting, sort of different. But it's a viral video that has gone out. A 58-year-old woman in the UK recently suffered a stroke and needed surgery last year. But she was shocked to discover that she suddenly started speaking in a full-blown Italian accent. Take a look here. This is clip 5.
I live my life is like contradiction. I'm happy to speak. When I couldn't speak before, I was very sad, very distressed as well. Very stressful for this to be happening to me. But now I can speak. I'm looking for my old sound, but it's nowhere to be found. So for me, I feel like a stranger in my own body. And nobody can tell me what is happening to me. I keep saying to everybody, what is happening to me? Why do I speak like this? Nobody can tell me what
I want to know what
got
the gesticulations.
I don't know why this is that, but I have no clue.
Also,
Why is
as
it?
accents go, look, it could be worse. I mean, it's a nice accent to have.
That is true, but still,
No, I get it. You're on your own accent.
Yeah.
I want to know what you sounded like before. Can we have a look? Have you sent us a video?
Yes, I do. I sent.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
Good evening, good night, good morning, whatever time of day it is. Hope everybody's okay. Pauline, ooh, this is my girl, man. I'm the young one, just saying.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes. So I miss this, you know.
Of course you do.
But I will say to you, more recently now, I have to realize it is a blessing. Because, I think about the fact I couldn't speak before, but now I'm like this, and I don't want to be ungrateful for my blessing.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you believe? Do you believe she's acting, or do you believe that this is actually some type of physical sickness? What do you believe?
You know what, KJ? You're
I
just
know.
killing us tonight. You are killing us tonight.
Tell me, and then we get you some spaghetti.
What do you believe?
Oh, I believe
we want pizza. We don't want spaghetti. We want pizza.
No, I don't think she's faking at all. As far as I know, the stroke was documented. It was real. I don't think it's faking. It's faking at all. Surprisingly, maybe to some people, of course, a stroke is what we call like a heart attack on your brain, if you will, or a brain attack, right? So different regions of your brain. In this particular region in her left temporal hemisphere of her brain, where controls speech and vocal and language, that was seemingly where her stroke happened. And she even showed later on the carotid web that she had in her neck, that bulge, whatever. It's almost like an aneurysm. That was one thing. But I do have something I want to say. So I do believe her. I do believe it. And I think her accent is beautiful like this. I mean, so I think it's cute. And she was say she had to be grateful for it. Many people don't get to speak as well after a stroke. So I love it. I think this is better than her original voice. But in honor of Women's History Month, I do have an acronym I want to give you all. Many of you have probably heard it, but it's called Be Fast. 4 strokes. If you see or suspect someone is having a stroke, remember this acronym, just like it's spelled, Be Fast, BEFAST. Each letter stands for a word. And the most important word in that or acronym is the T, the time. When you think someone is having a stroke, time is of the utmost importance. So be fast. Look up the acronym, but T is for time. That is the most significant part if you suspect someone is having a stroke. Get help immediately.
What are the other letters?
Oh,
you know what?
You said it was an acronym.
B is for balance, E is for eyes, F is for face, A is for arms, S is for speech, and T is for time. So that's the acronym. So again, Women's History Month. Of course, this is for men as well, but I do want that was a lady. She had a stroke. Women are having more and more strokes, if not, maybe on rate with guys. But be fast. That's your Women's History tip. And back to you, Nicole.
I think she's leaning in. Let's just call it what it is.
You did?
I do. I think the change,
Okay, yeah.
The brain injury is real.
Okay.
Make no mistake, the brain injury is real. But if you listen closely, let's not even go with all the because this is not language.
But I think she's doing that. Go ahead and finish your thought. I think she's doing that for real.
It.
I think she's doing that for a reason. But go ahead, I'm gonna finish your thought.
But I will say this: when you listen closely, you can still kind of hear her African accent in some of the words that she's saying. You can still kind of hear it like playing in the background. So hopefully she'll get her British/African accent back. Although we all think that her Italian accent is really cute. There's that. But with all
I think the hand movements, I think it's when she couldn't speak. I think she learned some signs. I do. I think she learned some signs to help her communicate. That's what I think.
So
I don't know.
Because this
is
more.
Italian. That's an Italian.
And she was talking about speaking, like more speaking. Yes.
Okay. But this is what Italians do. They say
they do that too. But I'm just thinking in light of the whole context of having a stroke, couldn't talk, so she's finding ways to communicate. That's just my thought. I'm not saying that's just my thought.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. Let's keep it real. Brain injury is. We don't know enough about the brain to know what the injuries. Chadwick.
Oh, with the Chadwick with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says Shelly was not expecting to get called out on what the letters were.
But I knew them.
Those letters.
But I knew them.
Yeah. You can whatever if you guys are familiar with Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57, where he had the famous line, "You can always bet on black."
Oh,
you can always bet on Shelly to know what she's going to do.
Know what she's talking about.
Yeah, you know what she's talking about. Okay.
Do that thing.
Believe that.
All
right, folks. So that brings us to the end of the night. What do you guys think? Do you think that this lady is faking it, or do you think she's actually experiencing a symptom from the stroke? Please sound off in the chat.
You see, Charlie Albert says Fugazi.
Oh,
say what?
He said Fugazi.
Fugazi. It's Fugazi.
Girl.
Oh, Vita. Oh, she said we saw that one already.
I don't see it.
He's under.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, you see it now? Did we get it?
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh yeah, Fugazi." That's an Italian word. It means that you're faking. So, all right. We we are at the end of our time tonight, folks. Thank you guys so much for sharing tonight with us and watching and hanging out with us. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. What are you waiting for? We are building a movement here on Pop and Politics for conservative people, God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people. And please join us by subscribing. Don't forget to hit that like button, and please share this broadcast in a DM, on your timeline. Please share. All right.
We got another super.
We do. We have another super. Let's see what we have here.
Got two. Yeah.
All right. Vida with the $2 super chat says, people of color, please take a basic.
Yes. Anybody.
But
Vida. Thanks, Vida.
Yes. Yep. You're right, Vida. Chadwick with the $5 super chat says, KJ about to get the Italians on us like she got the FBA on us. Oh my gosh. Well, what do you mean? Maybe I had a stroke, and so this is what happened to me. Okay. All right.
She's going to do this all night.
No, I was done. And then Chadwick said something. All right, folks. We love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you on this weekend, on our weekend broadcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we Saturday? I think it's Saturday.
Yeah, I think so. Saturday this week.
Woo,
Yep.
time is just
Turn
going
your
by.
notifications on.
Yeah,
That way.
click the notification bell. Exactly.
Absolutely.
But I can guarantee you what's going to happen. It's going to be a great show, regardless of what day it is. KJ is going to open the show in her Italian accent, saying more. And me and Shelly are going to sit here and go, "Oh my God, she done got started. She done got started with this Italian accent."
Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of
purpose.
Right.
Purpose.
Good night.
Say it in Italian. Purpose.
Yeah. Good night. It's time for Pop and Politics. It appears that time period following slavery and Jim Crow were not as harmful to the Black community as the legacy of liberalism and the welfare state.
Because you have this candidate that checks all these boxes. Well, she's Black-ish, check the box. She's female, check the box. She's from California, check the box. And she's not Joe Biden.
Right.
Most importantly, check the box. We ought to win. Somebody roll out Beyonce.
You lie, you steal, you cheat, you cause fear, you cause all kinds of chaos, and now you want us to somehow take your sob stories as if you're on our side. Get the...
We are seeing, how Marxism, how communism have infiltrated many of our institutions, and one of the main institutions that have been infiltrated is the church. Welcome to Christian Conservative.
The Christian agenda is good for everybody.
President Trump, he's embracing God's design for the identity of man that you would think Christians would be happy about and hold on to, but they're not, especially Black Christians.
That's a very scary place to be. If you deny me in front of people, Jesus said, I would deny you in front of my Father.
This was political. They wanted to make an example out of you.
God forbid I had kissed the ring. I would have kissed the ring and still got sentenced that same way.
I said, Lord, you put him in because your sister was in jail.
Welcome back to the All-American Talk Show.
We are talking about OnlyFans, otherwise known as Lonely Fans.
And 4.1 million creators, 84% are female. They earn an average of $180 per month.
Bill's gonna go meet someone in an alley by a dumpster, and KJ and I are gonna keep talking for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I had a bad dream, Giovanni. It's like I had to watch multiple minutes of The View.
As Maryland literally tried to take the word parent out of health education.
I don't care about the public schools, and I don't care about the teachers there. What I care about are that the students who go there get the education they need to become productive adults.
Just the Guys Podcast.
They all look the same. He's a real pretty boy, asking the questions real softly and nodding his head. Yes, mama. Yes, mama.
Madam President, these gentlemen do not believe that you are intelligent. I beg to differ.
I was the first vice president or president to ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic.
Her strategy to win Black votes was putting a twerking rapper on the stage, saying that she cooked collard greens in the bathtub.
And you see a lot of Black men typically vote in the way of the cooch.
When you take government out of it, things go back to where they're supposed to go. All of these things that the guy should have done to protect himself, why don't we just say keep your legs closed?
80% of the world walking out there is hedonistic degenerates who believe freedom is defined by how hedonistic and degenerate you express yourself.
You better thank a union member.